Good morning, Annie.
Good morning, Carrie.
Annie has the giggles today. I'm not sure I have the energy for a whole lot of giggles, but Annie is carrying the giggles today.
Yeah, but it was because it's Friday Crumbs from the
Pop-Tarts.
It is, and Carrie was doing her Friday Crumbs from the Pop-Tarts like yoga, trying to see that the phone was getting ready to record. And I said, don't focus on us, focus on the plant.
I know.
I am so jealous. I've been growing an amaryllis for Tara, Christchurch Tara. We were going to have one too. It doesn't even hold a candle to that. I mean, that is just, I'm doing something wrong.
Well, I have to tell you, this is getting more attention than my children these days.
They're adults, they can cope.
That's true. So it's on my desk.
Okay.
And I have a light over it all the time.
Right.
And I now have multiple books under the light because the light's not near high enough to keep drawing it upward. I talk to it.
Okay.
In very, very gentle, affirming ways every day.
Okay.
I tell it how beautiful it is.
It is.
And how strong and how beautiful and how worthwhile.
Okay.
I'm very affirming.
Oh, very affirming.
And I also offer prayers to it every day. And you know, it's actually been this incredible Advent epiphany for me.
Okay.
In the sense that imagine if we, with that kind of focus, tended to Advent in the same way.
Right.
Reading those scriptures.
Yep.
Nurturing, talking, praying, questing,
light,
right?
Having the light on us.
The water, right? Watering it, coming back to it, not just once a day, but like every hour almost. I'm giving it a little encouragement.
Okay.
So it's been quite an incredible Advent adventure for me in this, and my hope is actually for the kids that they've had that same kind of experience. Initially I thought it was just about the excitement of seeing something beginning to bloom,
Right.
And there is that excitement, but it's still this incredible like awareness of, wow, wait a minute, that's exactly what Advent's about. Not about the excitement of seeing this bloom, but it's the connection that we make to intentionally really focusing on the scripture and prayer and what's
but also
happening
what's coming.
And exactly what's coming.
Because we agree, we don't really know what's inside, right?
No, I don't know. I don't know which bloom it's going to be
until it bursts forth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you've got 2 blooms going. So
I know. And it was so cool last week, which was the focus was love.
Yep.
This bloom here was nestled right in, almost like a hand on a cheek. Like truly, that's for me what it felt like. It was almost, I could almost feel this hand on my cheek. I know, I'm just so spaz over this plant. My dad would be so proud of me because, you know, usually at God, I'm like, okay, stick it there, water, okay, let's see. Go ahead, God, do your thing.
But maybe this is a moment of growth for you because you're actually finding joy in the nurturing of this plant.
There's so much joy.
Yeah.
And it's more than joy. I can't even fully describe what it is, but it's this deepening and new awareness of what this season of Advent is.
Yeah.
Right? It is hope, it is peace, it is love, it is the response of joy, right?
And despite all the struggles we have, and you can't tell me that plant didn't struggle to get out of that bulb and then come forth. And I mean, so there's been struggles with that, but where there's struggle, there's beauty.
And you know what's been amazing too is that resisting the urge to tidy up the bulb, right? You know, and I think of
don't touch the
how
bulb.
we've sanitized the Christmas story, right?
Yes.
The Thomas Kincaid. Don't get me wrong, I love Thomas Kincaid.
Yep.
But the way that everything sparkles and is pretty, and the dusk and the night makes it look so genteel. It wasn't. It was a filthy, dirty stable, right? It was not sanitized in the way that we think about birth and delivery and welcoming babies in. There were animals. Animals stink, right? Like farm animals stink. And yet it was still incredibly beautiful. So my bulb, which started off with, just, and it still has these like brown fakey things, but
no,
you don't touch it, right?
That.
You just let it be.
Right.
And that's built into the Christmas story too.
I love it.
Yeah, it's been such a cool experience.
So now how are we going to top this next year? Oh my goodness.
Oh, I know,
We'll
I
figure
know.
something out.
Anyways, as long as we're together. Right?
Oh,
Please, just next year, let Christmas be a little bit more of a normal rhythm, okay?
Yeah.
Because we're like, this is not fun at the moment.
No.
With the anxiety that we're seeing in the community, with the news updates that are coming from Dr. Ara, from Dr. Yuri, from all over.
Yeah.
And yet, Christmas is still going to happen.
It's still going to happen.
We are still going to
Always
celebrate the birth of Christ.
Yeah.
Right? Families will still celebrate, even if it's possibly in smaller, and we don't know yet.
We
so
don't know yet.
I'm not even going to finish that sentence.
Yeah, don't
we
go
have
there.
no idea what's going to happen, but Christmas will happen.
Yep. Always
Right?
has.
The bells will ring out.
Yep.
And we will celebrate the birth of the Christ child. And we will celebrate, more importantly, the promise that and it's not the promise that he makes, it's the promise that was made by his birth.
Yeah.
What the prophets prophesied and foretold years and years and years and years before.
And then it happened.
And it happened.
It happened.
Right.
And who knew? Like, that was the thing. Okay, it had been prophesied, and that was something that people read. That you read the prophetic writings, and they're like, oh, it's going to come, it's going to come, and then it happened. It actually happened. And here we are sitting in 2021, and we don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you know what? We have the promise of the Old Testament and the prophets that said it will happen.
That's right.
And we just have to.
And the New Testament that tells us how it happened.
And we have to live in faith.
Yeah.
That it will happen again.
Absolutely.
And maybe it won't happen with a big splash, but then Jesus' birth wasn't a big splash either.
No.
But it will happen in a way that we least expect.
That's right.
So I think if we go around hunting for it, that's going to take away the, wow, that just happened moment.
You know, I'm always amazed, you know, when you're expecting something and you're watching that direction that your short's coming from.
Yeah.
Right? And so all of your focus and attention is there.
I know where you go.
And then suddenly,
swap.
Yeah, somebody comes in the back door.
Hits you upside the head from the other side.
And I remember being down at the lake taking a picture of the sunrise. And I had my sense of direction a little off, right? So no, it was sunset. Obviously.
It must be because
because I was down by the lake.
Sunset's that way.
Yeah, a little wonky, right? And so I'm looking and I can see some glow.
Okay.
And I was so focused. And this gentleman beside me kept going, excuse me. And I'm like, as I keep focusing, he says, just look to the left.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. And I would have totally missed this incredible sunset because what I was looking at was the glow of it in the clouds here. But just by shifting my vision ever so slightly, but it took somebody else helping me to draw my attention.
To go poke, look that
way. And you
right.
know how I feel about community and how we serve one another and all of that. But it was fabulous, right? So as you say, right? Sometimes we need to sort of just ease up.
Yeah.
And maybe take a step back. Because goodness knows we've all had like a really short focus.
Yeah.
In these last 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And
and just see a little further afield.
Yeah. And sometimes the blinders are on right now because we are in an anxiety-driven area, time, century, whatever you want to call it. But sometimes just taking a step back.
Yeah.
And focusing on something completely different, like the plant.
My beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful plant. Strong.
But focusing on something completely different that you least anticipate will catch your imagination and your thoughts and everything else. And all of a sudden, there's new energy in that.
Absolutely. That's what's so awesome about our Bible studies. And, you know, when we have book studies, when we come together and we share ideas, it's like, just like it's this synergy and this incredible gift of shared wisdom that creates something that not any one of us could have created.
That's right. Yeah.
And isn't that what worship does when we come together?
Yeah.
Right?
And it's hard. I understand that not everybody's comfortable coming back, and we don't know what's going to happen, but just having people in the church too is so nice.
Wonderful. Yeah.
To see those faces behind the masks and everything else. Yeah. But there's love in that.
There is.
There's love in that.
Yeah.
And everybody's being careful and doing their thing. But there's also getting together with other people and doing an activity or seeing people on the street and just saying hi with your eyes.
Absolutely. And
you can still say hi behind the mask, right? That's okay.
You
can do that. But it's bringing community together, which I think is important, and especially this time of year. And it's easy to do now because the weather's awesome.
It's brilliant. I have no problem with a green Christmas, by the by. So,
she's still wearing closed-toe shoes, but there's no snow.
No, it's not. Well, okay, but the heels are.
Oh, jeez. I cannot win. We haven't even gotten to our scripture today. Maybe we don't need to.
Maybe we don't, right?
No,
I mean,
don't.
It is Friday. It is December the
10th.
No.
That was last Friday.
17th, right?
Oh my goodness.
17th, right? And we are we're coming to the end of Advent.
Yep.
Because this Sunday will be Advent 4.
Yep. Lots of candles being lit.
We will be celebrating Christmas Eve together on a week today.
Well, we're not together.
No, we're not together. But you'll be out in Tara.
Yep.
I'll be at St. John's at 5, and then St. Paul's at 7. You're going to be at Christchurch Tara at 7:30, with our St. Paul's Chatsworth and our Christchurch Tara folks.
Yep.
And then the following Sunday, we'll do a service at I can't remember now, so I'm not going to say it. We'll do a Sunday morning service as well. But we're on the cusp of the end of Advent. We're on the cusp at the end of 2021, and all of it holds incredible promise.
That's right.
And in it, we have been called to acknowledge and remember and hold on to hope.
Right.
We have, through that hope, found peace.
I always thought we've got Advent 4 and then we go right into Christmas Eve. And this year we've got a few days between that time, right?
Remember the year we did Advent 4 Sunday morning and then Christmas Eve Sunday night?
Someone needs to work on the liturgy about that. That just blew my mind. But that was that made no sense to me because we're just celebrating one thing and we're celebrating another.
Yeah.
But now we've got a week, just about a week in between. And so what happens in that time? I mean, we finished the anticipation. Does the anticipation still build for a little bit longer? Like when we had this, okay, I know. That plant.
What happens?
Yeah.
We don't know if this is going to bloom on Christmas Eve. Wouldn't that be fantastic, though?
She'd be beside herself.
But even if it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
What we don't see is still happening.
Yeah.
The growth is still there, right? What God is doing in our lives, which may still be completely shielded from us,
right,
is still happening.
It's still happening. Yeah.
Right? And that's where, and I love the Advent wreath because it's a circle.
Yep.
Right? There's no, it's
no starting,
endless,
no end.
right?
It's
It just flows. So hope flows into peace. Peace flows into love. Love flows into joy. And all of that illuminates what we find in the center of that. What we find in the center of our lives, which is Christ. And Christ is the true and the brightest light that shines in the world.
Look at that! Okay, you know what? I cannot top that. That was did you write that down somewhere?
No, I'm hoping you remember.
Because there's a sermon right there. I'm thinking, I hope, I'm going to remember that. I think that's probably a good place to end.
I think so.
I can't top that.
So we wish you every blessing in this few days before we celebrate Advent 4 together. And we will see you on Sunday. And know that we are holding you in our thoughts and our prayers. And please pray. We just pray that you are able to remove yourself from any of the anxieties that come from worrying about the news that's coming from the the COVID virus these days and know that the love and presence and scope of God in our lives is far greater than any of that. So take care, God bless, and bye-bye.
Bye.